Raider Nation, welcome back. What a game last night. Incredible. We made the playoffs. That game was amazing last night. Anyways, welcome back to the Raider roster report. This is Raider Sparks. Please, if you like the video, please hit like, subscribe, share, comment. Want to hear what all Raider Nation has to say, but what a game. Had some friends that were at the game last night. It sounded amazing. I wish I was there with them. But, yeah, everything looked awesome in that stadium. That fans were rocking. And that team competed their asses off last night. That was so exciting to see. It wasn't a perfect game by any means, but what a performance. The drama coming down to the tie, and that's how you want to get into the playoffs. I mean, a 4-game win streak, riding it into Cincinnati, play your way in, and when it's all on the line, come through in the clutch. And the Raiders had a lot of clutch plays. Again, not perfect, but what an exciting finish. I mean, just the drama around everything. It was so much fun to watch. I'm so happy for these guys to be able to go in. A lot of these guys, first time in the playoffs. It's going to be what an atmosphere in Cincinnati it's going to be, and I can't wait. But didn't want to make too long of a video. Got a lot to cover today, but what an exciting roller coaster ride that was last night. I'm still fired up about it. Incredible game. So happy for these guys. But anyways, yeah, I went. Kind of went over the keys to the game, and my keys to the game going into it was Josh Jacobs, and man, what a man he was last night. The play calling, Denzel Perryman played like a warrior, and then Coach B as well. So let's talk about it. Some of the keys to the game that I had. Josh Jacobs, he needed to stay on the field and give us at least 3 to 4 drives, just kind of all him on the field, not coming off. And he did way more than that. He ran 26 times, 132 yards. He had a nice average of a little over 5 yards and a touchdown for us. But more importantly, he put the game away when it counted. And he played like a man. He has been playing so good lately. I was so concerned the other last couple of games. He kept getting up hurt and coming off the field. I thought that was going to kill us, but he was on the field all the time, balling out there, and he was awesome. It was fantastic to watch. The play calling, I thought the play calling was solid. I like us establishing the run to the right more often. We tend to want to this game run left to establish it there. So but it worked at the end. Look, we ran the ball left and it worked. So they must have known. Greg Olson must have felt that was their weak spot. I just prefer us running right. I think we're way better when we run to the right, but it worked out. I mean, you can't complain. 132 yards for Josh on the ground. I thought the line overall did a really nice job. Really what I liked with the line specifically was the penalties. I think they didn't have any, or maybe had one false start, but other than that, they played a clean game. It wasn't perfect. Yeah, there was pressures and all that other stuff, but I mean, yeah, not having all the penalties on the line was huge last night. But Josh ran decisively, made a couple jump cuts, but some of them paid off. But yeah, he was setting up that run for the inside that allowed him to bounce it outside. So I thought that was incredible. The play calling itself, I mean, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was really good. I mean, we had a couple shots downfield, throws that were touchdowns to Zay Jones and to Waller. But other than that, I mean, you can't fault that on the play calling. Those were great calls. I loved getting Mariota in the game. I didn't agree with couple of the calls that with the back-to-back one specifically doing it, but I mean, just love getting him involved, the creativity to do it, and totally helps our offense, makes us so much more dynamic. Defenses can't just key on one or two players. And the other part of the play calling that I talked about was not force-feeding the ball to Waller just because he's back. And Waller did not have a good game. Obviously, he just came back. He had 9 targets, so maybe we did force feed a little bit. But watching the game, it didn't seem like it. He only had 2 catches for 22 yards, and some of those were drops, and some were just missed throws by Carr. But that's okay. I mean, he was just getting back in the groove. But the way we spread the ball and distributed it out, I mean, Edwards, 4 receptions for 63 yards. I thought he had a nice game, 5 targets. We got Morrow involved a couple times. Jones had 8 targets. Didn't have the yard production, but he made the big catches when we needed him to. Hunter ran for 5 targets, so he did not have the game. I think they were obviously really keen on him. Josh had a couple catches, a couple targets, and Jalen Richard I thought played a nice game again too. He's really coming along, fitting into this offense for us. So overall, I like the distribution, the play calling, things like that. I mean, it's weird. Carr only threw for 186 yards compared to Herbert's 390 or 380, whatever he had, some incredible number. But it goes to show you don't have to do it all in the air. So that was amazing. So I thought the play calling was really good. My other key to the game was Denzel Perryman. One, staying on the field, and for the most part, he did. I think he came out a couple times, but for the most part, he did. And to call a good game, get guys into places they needed to be. So, I didn't think we gave up too many easy looks. I mean, it was the most frustrating thing was obviously the fourth down. I mean, it seemed like we were kind of running some blitzes on third downs and then went away from it on fourth downs, and then it was eating us up. So it's like, gosh, we could have got off the field. I mean, it's hard to say this, giving up 32 points, but I thought the defense made so many plays. It seemed like we played a good defensive game. It just when it really counted to make the play, we just couldn't do it. But I mean, we got contributions from guys that joined the team late. I mean, face on 7 tackles, 2 pass defense, tackle for loss. KJ Wright joined the team late, five tackles for us. Trufant was in there, 4 tackles, 4 pass defense. I mean, we got him late in the season. But look at all these guys that contributed. It was just incredible. So great job on teamers playing in there. I mean, all these guys came late to the dance floor. I was the teamer was on the team before, but still a new addition to the team this year. So contributions from new guys would just paid off hugely. I don't know where we'd be without those guys. You can say Casey Hayward as well with the interception. He joined the team this year. Levitt's been on the team for a while, but he's in that spot. So it was really nice to see Carrier back. That was great to get him back on the field, to get him blocking. One of the things I talked about in a previous video is getting our tight ends more involved in the blocking game to open up the running game, and it seems like we started doing that a lot more. And I kind of see that with Josh running a lot more effective with the extra blocking in there. It's totally helped out. Overall, really, really good stuff. I like the contributions, but look where we'd be if we didn't have those guys. But it just kind of goes to show where we need to grow our talent base for the long term, and kind of leads into the segment I wanted to do today was talk about the national championship game and all the talent that's going to be on the field this year, this game tonight with Alabama and Georgia. I mean, you want to talk about just incredible amount of NFL talent. I did the NFL Draft Network, the simulator, the Draft Network simulator. They simulated 16 guys being drafted, or 17 guys, excuse me, in the first 4 rounds in this game. And I don't agree with all of what they have, and there's a few guys that maybe would be higher. I don't know, but there's probably another 17 guys drafted. There's probably another 4, 5, 6 guys that'll be playing the game that are draft eligible as well. So you want to talk about NFL talent? This is where it's at, and I just wanted to mention. So they had, and I don't agree with this. So I just put it in the order that the Draft Network did. Jordan Davis going 8th overall. Interior defensive lineman from Georgia. You see the picture. He's a mountain of a man. Obviously, he's huge, 6'6", 340. He's probably more than that. But I think Phylon showed last night what a defensive tackle could do to disrupt a game. I mean, when he was in there, we were balling. He was balling. I hope he's okay. I don't know. I haven't seen any reports yet. I really hope he's okay. I don't think he is. He got carted off, so it's never a good sign. But when he was in, he was balling. So it shows what a defensive tackle can do. But he was doing more than just stuffing the run, which he did really well. He was good after the passer, too. So did Quinn. I'll give it up to him, too. Q did a great job last night as well. But, just think about the first round for us, a defensive tackle that can disrupt the game. So that could be him. I mean, he's more of a 2-down player, but the 2 downs he's going to give you is definitely run stuffing and taking on blockers. He most likely will command a double team in the NFL or free up some other guys off the edge. You saw what it did with Phylon last night and with what Q was bringing to the table. It's a huge difference for our defense. And when Phylon went out, it definitely changed the game, I felt. But so big props to Darius last night and to Q. And I hope Darius is okay. But anyways, Jordan Davis, let's keep an eye on him tonight. See what you think, Raider Nation. Let me know your thoughts on him. I have some concerns with his weight. And really, my concerns too. If you will start watching these YouTube videos, he's kind of Hollywood in them, but that's good and bad. I think he got one out right now comparing himself to Godzilla and all this other stuff. So I'm not sure if he's more Flash or if he's more dynamic and what he can do. And who knows if I don't think the position is going to get taken at 8, but you never know. Next guy is Evan Neal. I'm not sure we want to go back to the offensive tackle at Alabama again, back-to-back years in the first round. But, he's projected, I think he might go top 5. He's probably top 10 for sure. He's the top 1 or 2 or 3 tackles for sure in the draft. So, anyways, keep an eye on him. I don't think he would be there for us to draft. So, I may not watch him as much, but I'll keep an eye on him for sure. Trayvon Walker, I'm definitely excited to see him play. I mean, they have him playing edge this year, but 6'5", 275. Last year, he played defensive tackle at 290. His frame, he can definitely go up to 300 pounds, and he could be a disruptive force in the middle. So keep an eye on him. I actually really like this player. I'm going to watch him a lot tonight, see how he looks against Alabama's line. Somebody definitely to keep an eye on for the Raiders because he's kind of in that 20-ish range for the draft right now. Obviously, this is way too early to assign draft positioning, but that's kind of where they have him at right now. Then Jameson Williams, I think he'll go higher than where we'll be drafting at, but he's a dynamic receiver out of Alabama, 6'2", 188. A lot of Jerry Jeudy comps for him that I've seen. So keep an eye on him. Definitely, we need receiving help for sure. So it could be somebody to look at. But again, where we're going to be drafting, I don't think he'll be there. Nakobe Dean, I really like this player. I think we need more speed in the middle, more speed at linebacker. But I have my eye on him as more of a is he 6 foot? Not really at 225. I think he could play the Jonathan Abram role for us at that box safety, star position, linebacker, whatever you want to call it. Really just keep him in space. It's funny because when you watch him play, he plays super fast. He's all over the field. In fact, the guy out of Oregon, the maybe the number 1 true follow, I can't say his last name, but possibly the number 1 pick, Nakobe Dean has 1 less sack than he does. So this guy gets after the quarterback. He makes plays all over the field. And for him to come in to play that star position, maybe if we move on from Abram next year with the health issues, things like that, this would be a guy I would love to have in there. Not only that, but pair him up with Perryman in the middle, Divine Diallo on the weak side, or playing the star. Then you could have him playing the wheel or the star. Might add an element of surprise to the defense, so you have way more versatility, way more speed on the field. So keep an eye on him. I really like this player. And a lot of time linebackers fall in the draft, so you might even go to the second round. You never know the way that the draft views linebackers. So keep an eye on that. Jordan Battle, real similar to what Abrams plays. He plays kind of that box safety star kind of position for Alabama. So let's keep an eye on him too. 6'1", 210. He's more of a safety, so he's more traditional at the passing. And Nakobe Dean is really good at going back to him. He's good at coverage, but I don't know if you're going to have him line up against a slot receiver, whereas Jordan Battle is more adept probably at doing that. So keep an eye on both these guys to fill that position we might have, because clearly we need playmakers in the middle. As last night showed it, right? We had a ton of guys coming open, and a lot of it has to do with the secondary, but also has to do with the safeties we put on the field and get that extra speed, and then a guy that can actually get after the quarterback too, which Nakobe Dean can. So keep an eye on him. But Jordan Battle, let's see what he can do. Next guy to keep an eye on is George Pickens. Really good downfield receiver, big catch radius, 6'3", 200 pounds. Let's see what he can do. He's projected to go second round, so he might be that second round receiver we pick up to fill in the gaps for our receiving squad. Maybe we get a number 1 receiver in free agency and bring him in for a downhill, big catch radius guy, big playmaker guy. Let's see how he does. Christian Harris, linebacker out of Alabama, 6'2", 232, plays that wheel linebacker. I got some concerns with him because he was supposed to be the Mike linebacker, and he lost his spot this year to another guy that we'll talk about here in a minute. But definitely a coverage linebacker, and just watch for him, see how he hits the hole, see how he tackles, that type of thing. I'm not as convinced, but I just want to see him play. Let's keep an open mind. You never know. Another guy I really want to see is projected second round. I think he's more of a first rounder. Devontae Wyatt, personally, he's an interior defensive lineman, and let's see how he does too, because he's to me more of a three down disruptive guy, run stuffer, but also can get after the passer is what I think he is. But NFL Draft Network has him a lot lower than I thought he'd be. So let's keep an eye on him. It's interesting. Look at all the defensive line talent that Georgia has. It's incredible. what they have on the defensive line. That's why Nakobe Dean is kind of hard to evaluate because he stays clean a lot, so he plays in space. That's why I think that star role is perfect for him because that's what he does. Even though he plays more middle linebacker or just any linebacker spot that Georgia lines him up at, he's most part pretty clean. I just talked about 3 guys on their defensive line in the top 50 picks, basically. So, yeah, that's a tremendous amount of talent. Another guy to keep an eye on is Fletcher Mathis, interior defensive lineman. Draft Network has him as a possible second rounder. I've seen him all over draft boards, like not even drafted. Or it's hard to evaluate, like Barmore last year. Alabama's defensive line, they rotate so much. It's kind of hard to get a feeling for it. But, yeah, big upside. Let's just keep an eye on him, see how he does at the interior, because we definitely could use another interior guy next year for sure. No doubt about it. We see how disruptive they can be. They can win ball games for you. Lewis Seen, safety out of Georgia, projected a late second, maybe third round pick, 6'1", 200 pounds. Obviously, we have Trayvon is not going anywhere as our free safety. But if we go to a 2 safety look, maybe we do keep an eye on him. You never know what kind of defense we're going to roll out next year. But yeah, keep an eye on that. I mean, I'm more of the depth to look for a strong safety or box type safety or linebacker to convert to box safety. Usually you don't do that, but I mean, just Nakobe Dean's kind of that exception just because he's 6 foot. I don't know. Usually linebackers in the NFL are 6'2" and more. But anyways, another guy to keep an eye on, Jameer Salyer. I don't know how to say his name, but interior lineman for Georgia, plays guard. And definitely, I've seen him on draft boards as one of the top guards, actually, but they have him in the 3rd round of the Draft Network. So, it wouldn't be bad to get a guard maybe in the 3rd type round. So keep a close eye on him. Henry Taratoa, he plays middle linebacker. He took over the Mike linebacker spot for Christian Harris this year. I think he's more of a will linebacker because I think he's like 225, I believe, or 228, 6'2", 228. So can play in the middle with his height, maybe adds a little weight, but yeah, maybe more of a Mike or will linebacker. But kind of keep an eye on him, see what you think. TK Smith, another safety out of Georgia. We'll keep an eye on him as well. He's 5'10", 198. He's maybe more even a nickel. Plays that star role for him. I'm not sure he's big enough to play the sort of star role we'd want him to play at the NFL level, but he might have the chops anyways to play nickel, maybe a Nate Hobbs type backup player. So keep an eye on him. See where they line him up. See how he looks, the speed and everything. He's got the speed and he can tackle. Then maybe somebody to keep an eye on. Another guy that got projected in the 4th round is Quay Walker, linebacker for Georgia. I don't know a whole lot with him. We'll keep an eye. It looks like Georgia's got a ton, tops, in the box guys, linebackers, defensive linemen, just incredible. Josh Jobe, a cornerback for Alabama, a lot of press man he plays. So let's just keep an eye on him, see how he does. 6 foot, 189. And those are all the top, like as far as projected rounds 4 and up. There's some other guys that I think might slip up, get up there a little bit too, or just guys to keep an eye on. Neal, I can't say his last name, but he's a guard for Alabama. Always keep an eye on him. Zamir White, running back from Georgia. Obviously, these guys fall a lot in the draft. And I wouldn't mind, obviously, Booker didn't even play last night. Jacobs and Richard carried the load. Well, I'm not sure if Booker got any snaps or not, actually. But obviously, we need to fill in some gaps at our running back. And then Brian Robinson Jr. is another guy to keep an eye on. But there's other guys on the field that are going to be playing. I think there's LeBrian Ray, interior defensive lineman for Alabama, Christopher Allen, edge, Alabama, James Cook, running back for Georgia. So there's even more talent than I'm listing here. It just goes on and on and on, the NFL talent that's going to be on the field. So, hey, keep a close eye on some of these guys. I definitely have guys that I highlighted that I'm definitely going to be watching. I think just to go over Jordan Davis, I'll be watching him close. I want to see him play, even though I don't think he'll probably go before we draft. Trayvon Walker, I'm really excited to see him play. I really am curious to see how he might fit on our line. Jameson Williams, I don't think he'll be there, although he's a good player. I don't think he'll be there when we draft Nakobe Dean. I'm really excited to see him play. I really see a fit with him on our team. I don't know if we would do it to make him that star Jacobs or Jonathan Abram type player, but that's the way I see it. Jordan Battle's another guy that can do that as well. George Pickens, I really want to see him play. I think we have a good shot to get him, and maybe in round 2 or trade up or trade back type thing from our first round pick. But anyways, he could be a good addition to our team. And Devontae Wyatt's another guy I'm going to keep a close eye on because I think he could be a dominant 3-down tackle in the NFL. So I would definitely want to keep an eye on him. But there's tons of guys to look at. Anyways, congratulations to the Raiders for making the playoffs, fighting their way in. And just an amazing season so far. Can't wait to see these guys go out in Cincinnati and give it all they got. I know they will. And anyways, thanks for staying around, listening. Keep a close eye at the national championship game tonight. And thanks for joining the Raider Roster Report. This is Raider Sparks. Please like, subscribe, share the video, make comments. Definitely want to hear what Raider Nation has to say. And go Raiders.